Okay, so tonight we're going to be talking about how we feel like we're doing everything right and not seeing results on the scale. So you might be feeling like I'm eating right, I'm moving my body, I'm doing all the things, but the scale is still not moving. And so I want to dig into that and give you some more tips for that. So if you are feeling really frustrated lately, first of all, you're not alone. There are many women that I talk to on a regular basis that feel like they're frustrated, they're even depressed about it. They're just feeling so stuck because they've tried things, it's not working, and now they're wondering, what else can I do? So let's dive in. All right. First of all, I know that it feels like we're doing everything right. And this is a conversation I had with many women last week as they felt like I'm doing everything right, but it's not working. So what could possibly be the answer? And a lot of times what I find when I dig in is that there are many things that still can be changed. We get our information from a lot of times from social media or from our doctor or from different health professionals, and they don't always give us the complete picture. So sometimes they're missing a lot of important pieces, which means you're not getting all of the information that you need. And so there might be more things that you can actually do to get results. So for me, when I teach women, the goal is not to do more. It's not to load up more on their plate. It's just to do the right few things consistently. So we want to know what are the right things to do and then figure out how to make it consistent. So here are some of the most common reasons results stall. And I have my notes here so that I don't get sidetracked. Okay. So consistency, number one of reasons why the scale is stalled, consistency might not be as consistent as you think. So we might be doing really well for a few days of the week, especially at the beginning of the week. That's what I hear the most. I'm doing really great Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then things start to fail. And so then over the average, the consistency isn't as consistent as we want it to be. Maybe the weekend is falling apart. Maybe the last couple of days of the week is falling apart. Now, the good news is that we can fix that. We can figure out then how can we tweak things to make this actually fit your schedule and your lifestyle so that you can be consistent with your healthy habits. But we do have to take a step back and look at the whole picture and know that, okay, it's all about the average. And if our average isn't up to the right level for progress, then we're not going to see that progress.
Mm.
So the reason why this is important is because if we pile on too much on our plate, then it is hard to be consistent. If we feel like we need to do 20 different healthy habits during the day, but we can't actually stay consistent with that, it's not realistic, then yeah, we're not going to stay consistent. So we want to figure out what are the most important things to stay consistent with. The next thing that stalls the scale is under fueling too early in the day. Now, a
Mm.
lot of women are under fueling in general throughout the whole day, but I want to focus on the beginning of the day. A lot of times we're having a light breakfast. Maybe we're skipping lunch. Maybe that breakfast is a little more carb filled. So maybe it's cereal or a muffin or a bagel or toast, even avocado toast, very popular, but these things are lacking protein. And so it's a little too light. It's a little too light in protein. And maybe we're feeling like, oh, well, I don't want to eat too much because I'm trying to lose weight. So I don't want to have too many calories. But all that means is that we end up eating too much later or having sugar cravings that are too hard to control. And we end up eating things that are not supportive to our journey. We might have the 3 p.m. crash. We might have the nighttime snacking. And this is because we didn't fuel enough in the earlier part of the day. So the way to fix this is protein at the beginning of the day and have a full, complete meal. So we don't want to skip on our breakfast and we don't want to skimp on our lunch. And maybe planning in an afternoon snack that is a really balanced snack that has protein in it that will help you reach your goals. Snacking is fine. We just want it to be planned and appropriate. The next thing is that you're trying to diet harder than your body needs support, meaning you're trying to go on a diet when actually what your body needs is more support. And that support might be sleep, might be less stress. So if your sleep isn't optimized, if you're having poor sleep, if you're having poor quality sleep, poor quantity of sleep, that's going to create sugar cravings the next day. Not only is it going to create sugar cravings, but your body is actually more insulin resistant the next day when you've had a bad night of sleep. So that combination is a killer, because now you're going to want more sugar, and that sugar is not going to be handled well in your body. So maybe it's not a diet that you need. Maybe we need to work on your sleep, or maybe we need to work on stress. So if you have a lot of stress in your life, your body is not going to release weight. It's going to hold on to the weight. So we need to address sleep and stress before anything else, because that might be blocking progress. Okay, so let's see. Another thing that might be blocking the scale from moving is that you're only relying on the scale to show progress. So you might not be seeing the scale move, but maybe you're seeing progress in other areas if you take the time to notice. So maybe that's better energy, less brain fog, less achiness in your joints, meaning less inflammation. Maybe it's better digestion. There's a lot of different things that might be happening if we take a moment to notice. But a lot of times we are stuck on just measuring success by the scale. We see that the scale hasn't moved and we feel like a failure. We feel like we must not be doing it good enough. We must not be doing it right. When in reality, the scale is very difficult to control, especially in perimenopause and beyond. And we want to look at other measurements of success. So that might be energy. It might be less cravings. It might be better sleep. It might be better digestion. It might be measurements in inches, with the tape measure. It might be more strength from your strength training workouts. It might be just better consistency in your healthy habits. Those are the types of non-scale wins that we want to pay attention to. And then the last thing that I'll mention of reasons why the scale might not be moving is that meals aren't as balanced as they feel. So until we actually measure and check, you might not know if you're getting enough protein. It is kind of a challenge to get that at least 30 grams of protein per meal. We really want to be aiming for about 100 grams of protein a day. That's a general recommendation, depends on each person, but that's a good benchmark. And unless you're measuring and checking, which I only recommend doing once in a while, because that's not something we want to focus on, but we do have to check, you might not be getting enough protein. And if you're not getting enough protein, you're going to have a really hard time seeing the scale move. Okay, so getting enough protein is going to help you feel satisfied. It's going to help balance your hormones and balance your blood sugar. So it's very important. If you don't have enough, it can end up leading to grazing and snacking. So simple fix. We're just going to make sure you're eating more protein at your meals, along with vegetables and produce and some healthy fats. That's going to give you calmer appetite, calmer cravings, and it's going to help you feel satisfied. Okay, so let me see if this, yeah. Do you have a question, Salwa?
Yes, my question is, you hear about like intermittent fasting, and and people are losing weight, especially I was following, I forgot her name. She's some kind of doctor, and she started doing it for girls and for women and perimenopause and so on. And so this is a conflict. So this is why I stopped eating in the morning. So and you say I should eat protein in the morning. So what should I do? Intermittent fasting, not intermittent fasting?
It's an excellent question.
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yes. So the thing with intermittent fasting is that there's a lot of research that shows it's really helpful for your liver, for blood sugar, for digestion. There's great studies to back that up. However, if you're in perimenopause and you have a lot of stress or high cortisol and poor sleep that is happening for you, then intermittent fasting isn't the first place we're going to start. We're
Mm,
actually going to table that for
yeah.
later.
Okay.
What we want to do first is support your stress and support your sleep. Once we have that handled, then yes, we're going to go back to the intermittent fasting because that's like the cherry on top. That improves things even more. But we got to fix the other things first. Does
Okay.
that
That's a good,
help?
very much so. Thank you so much.
Until
Yes.
they
Yeah.
become habits. It's true.
Mhm.
I found that a lot, right? Especially with scrolling and everything else. I've learned to put that phone in the bathroom ensuite. I can still hear it go off in the morning, the alarm. And I've got it set up so that there are people that are in my life that I want them to get through if they need to. You can do that on the phone. And so, like, I usually put on a do not disturb from 10 in the morning to 10 at night till 7 in the morning. People can still get through. I can still hear it with the alarm or the phone. I really do. I'm just that, a mother's
Yeah.
ear. And then
Yeah.
that's helped me greatly. Otherwise, I'd go to bed and I'd
Yes.
lay down and I'd start looking at it. I'd get comfortable and I'd start looking at it. And before I know it, it's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and that's not good.
Mhm.
So putting that completely out of my
Away.
way, and
Yes.
I can't
And
say that it happens all the time, but most of the time it does. So I've built that consistent habit. And also, like, getting to bed by 10 o'clock, start by 9:15 or so, winding
yes.
down with everything that I'm doing. I really do.
Yep.
That's made such a big difference. And we don't go out a lot. I mean, we were out Saturday night for a little while for a birthday party after I'd been out all day. And by the time that Norm said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Yeah, the couch is calling me." And it might have been close. We got there for 5:30, 6:30. So it might have been about 8. And it quite
Hmm.
frankly was because I'd been out all day. So
Hmm.
but even eating out, I was really happy. The choices that I began making and began making and have become used to. I was
Hmm.
with a friend and we went out to a restaurant and I got a seltzer water and she got water, but we each ordered I mean, this was a seafood, all kinds of things going on at this restaurant, but I didn't want to pay the price for the baked seafood and all that. So I decided, well, it's lunch. I'm just going to I got a nice wrap sandwich,
Hmm.
which was the Thanksgiving one with the
Oh,
turkey and
yes.
it had some stuffing in it, but it had the cranberry too. And actually, it was so big, I had half of it.
Ah,
And I also, as much as I wanted the onion rings, I was ordering them and I'm like, no, I'm going to have the side Caesar salad. I said, could you put the dressing on the side? I don't like it all mixed in. It's too strong. It bites. So that came out as a good side salad. So I focused
yeah.
on the salad and half of the wrap. And when I got home, I gave my
Amazing.
husband part of it, the other part of it. So
So
that
you
worked out
were
really. I was
very,
totally satisfied.
yes,
Yeah,
satisfied. You were intentional about the choices you were making.
absolutely.
You were
Even though I wanted
noticing,
something different, I just knew that I
right?
don't need fried food. I haven't had it in a long time and I don't
Yep.
need it. So,
You were thinking about how am I going to feel after I eat this?
right. And
And
then I
you
still had to go
knew,
out at night.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. So you knew getting
Yeah.
the protein and the veggies
Yeah.
in was a priority.
Yeah.
And so you were able to make that choice.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what you build over time. I wouldn't have
Yeah.
done that in the beginning, you know.
And what you said earlier about making it a habit
Yes.
and putting your phone away at night. And I
Oh,
know
yeah.
that's very hard. It took me a very long time to create that habit for myself, but it is a habit now. And so I definitely recommend everybody try it.
Yeah.
Try putting the phone in the other room if you can, or doing something with it to really reduce that screen time. You're going to notice a huge difference.
Oh, it's huge. And
Mhm.
then checking in with my head to my toes, really, you know,
Mm,
getting some deep breathing in, laying out, stretched out, letting everything go for the day. Tomorrow's another day. I can't fix anything more tonight,
yeah,
and then just focusing in on making sure every area of me it's almost like a body scan,
yeah, yeah.
you know,
So stress
and
reduction.
that really does help,
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Yes. Okay. So, what I want people to be thinking about when you're watching this recording, I want you to be thinking about when do cravings hit you the hardest?
Mm,
Is it, late morning? Is it mid afternoon? Is it nighttime? And then I want you to backtrack. What did you have prior to that? What
Yeah.
was your meal? Was it big enough? Did it have enough protein? Did it have enough veggies and fiber and healthy fats? And then also ask yourself, how was my sleep last night?
Yeah.
Because if it wasn't very good, that might be interfering and it might be creating more cravings. And then I also want you to ask yourself, how is my stress right now? How do I feel? Am I very stressed? Am I very emotional? Am I very bored even? I mean, check in to see what those emotions are. And sometimes just checking in and having that awareness is enough to help you make the choice that is more supportive. Now, it doesn't have to be strict. I don't ever recommend somebody telling themselves, well, I have to do it this way, or I can't have this, or I'm not going to eat that anymore. Those usually end up backfiring in the end. So
Yeah.
just checking in and noticing how you feel, that's going to be huge. All right. So that's probably the biggest takeaway for today is getting that protein in, checking in with yourself, creating healthy habits that you can stay consistent with that are small enough that you can stay consistent and not setting yourself up for failure by piling on all of the activities. We want to just take it one little step at a time so that you feel supported. The goal is to support your body so that it can heal from within and then release the weight naturally. So consistency beats intensity.
And the water.
Yes. Oh,
The water.
absolutely. Getting that water in. Yeah. All right. And if anybody that's watching this wants to connect more, we have a free school group that I would love for you to join. And I'm going to put the link for that group underneath this video so that you can join us.